Okay, so there's many things that I want to share about regarding this contractor renovation ID and all these things. But I'm going to go very straight to the point on my own experience. I wouldn't say that I got the best contractor, but I'm still I feel that it's acceptable. Can it be better? Of course, everything can be better. He's definitely not like the best. I wouldn't definitely use the word best to it. But just want to share my experience and also a lot of discussion with him and talk session, and we also learn a lot from him. Okay, so I'm going to share with you my whole experience. I hope it helps you and you will answer a lot of questions that you have, like how to communicate with them, what are the expectations and the problems that you meet. Everything we will try to compress it as short as possible. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is quotation. Because when we meet the contractors, right, of course the contractors haven't seen the place. They only follow floor plans, photos, then they got to give you quotation, okay? So I think for a contractor to come back to you with a quotation, right, the speed they come back to you with a quotation is important. That's number one. That's at least what I feel. Because I feel that if the contractor cannot even come back to you on quotation fast enough, then how are we going to, like in the renovation, isn't it going to be worse? Now I just want a quotation, it's just a piece of paper, it's just a cost. If you cannot even get back to me fast enough for that, then I think the renovation, I scared lah. I don't dare let you do, okay? So that's my number one point. Number two, I think there's one very good thing about the contractor that I engage, okay? I'm going to share with you why. Because from stage one, right, he actually did a drawing. Means he just used pen and paper, draw out, the kind of cupboards that I want, all the cupboards that I want, he draw out how it looked like roughly, just pen and paper using 3D drawing, just a normal drawing. Then using the floor plan, they will measure. The interesting thing is even without the measurements, they can actually look at the floor plan. As long as the floor plan is drawn to scale, right, they will estimate the floor, the door of the length, then they will go and measure. They roughly know the length, okay? So they will give you a rough estimate, then they do the drawings and see whether the cabinets is this what you want. Then after that they will do a 3D drawing, means they will try to make it look like a real photo. They will add colors to it. They will do like, it really look like photo lor. If you don't know how to see, right, you thought that this is really photo, but it's actually not, it's 3D drawing. Then the last part, after you see the 3D drawing, right, that is already because you already choose your colors already. The last part is when he come and visit the house, he did something that I was quite happy about, which is he came and measure and try to tally his drawing. Means the actual drawing, he draw 1.2 meters, 1.3 meters. He will kind and see whether 1.2 meter, is it too short, is it too long? Then he will show me the depth, then he will tell me why he decides that. So I think the drawing part, he did quite a few. He did about 3 to 4 stages of different drawings. So the first stage is more for quotation, second stage is because you choose your color, then third stage he did was to come to the unit, then try to tally whether the measurements really make sense or not. Do you need to expand it a little bit bigger or is it too big? And then the fourth stage is we start to align what we want, like some of the changes, then he did the changes. So we did about 4 different stages of drawing. Okay, then the third thing that I realized is sometimes what we want as a consumer, our imagination and our thinking, right, didn't really communicate 100% to the contractor. So when they draw, sometimes I think plus minus there is a 5 to 10% difference. So I feel that this is something that as a consumer we have to give and take lah. Not everything may come out exactly what we want, but it shouldn't differentiate too much. So I think the drawing is also an important thing because maybe some of the drawing, right, I realized that I'm the one that I didn't pay enough attention to. So he draw it like this, but I may think differently. But I realized that when he did it, I said, is this wrong? But I went back to the drawing, it's actually I am the one that's wrong because I accepted the drawing. So I feel that it's a give and take, 5 to 10%. And if you really want to minimize it, you got to really go back to the drawing or make sure that you understand the drawing and make sure the drawing is accurate enough. The contractors really draw what they want to make for you and you really understand what they are trying to make for you. Okay, the next point is I feel that choosing the color, right, is really the hardest. So it really takes a lot of time because when they let you choose, it's very small piece of sample. Then when it become big, it will amplify. So if you choose the color that is too light, when it become big, it will become very light. If you choose the color that is too dark, when it become big, it will become very dark. So you really need the 3D drawing, which really help a lot. And we are quite happy that what we choose really came out almost what we want, not too dark, not too light. The next thing I want to share about is the expectation, okay? Because I feel that in renovations, right, I always hope that, why this thing is not done properly, why that thing is not done properly. I feel that as a consumer, I always think that, why you come one time, you don't do it correctly. So I realized that in this renovation industry, right, they have different steps and stages. So it's become very normal that they will come a few times. The first time is they try to do all the major things like foundation to me, like do up everything. Then later the second time they will come and do correction. Then the third time they will come and do touch up. So I give an example, like for my carpentry, right? When I come and check, I was like, why here a little bit rough? Why the gap a little bit big? Why the door not aligned? So I was a bit concerned. So later, after 1 week, I realized that, get better. Then later, I tell you, here not correct, I must touch up. There not correct, must touch up. Then it touch up. So it takes a lot of different process. Means like maybe stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, maybe 4 or 5 stages to get it right. And it seems like it's the norm. Because when the painter come, also same thing. They paint, then I tell them, here, why you never patch properly? Then later, the painter come and touch up. Then later, the paint here drop a little bit, then they come and touch up. It's the same thing. The thing that is better, I feel that there's not so much of problem is really the flooring. Like for me, the vinyl, one time they did it well. The deckings also no problem. The smart zip also no problem. I feel that the things that is more handcraft means like more complicated, like carpentry painting, because they have a lot of patches to patch up. They may miss a little bit here and there. So these are more major problems that we have experienced. And I thought that in my sense is that as a consumer, I feel that like, why you want to come so many times? You come so many times, you waste your money. You cannot earn money. But I spoke to my contractor and he also tell me that this is a norm. They have different stages. They will come and touch up. The thing that he tell me is, the most important thing is the thing can be resolved. The thing can be touched up. Then it's not a problem. So it seems to be a norm in the industry. Just that to me, maybe my expectation is like, why don't you do it good and well the first time? Next, one thing that I did, right, was we bought the painting. There's this Scotch tape that is not very sticky. Then we go around the house looking for defects. Then we stick. I think that is very effective. I learned that from the new launch. Normally, new launches, the first year that is warranty or defects period, people will stick. Then the person will come and touch up. So I learned that from my new launch experience. We also did the same thing. We stick, and then they come and touch up. Then slowly you see less and less tapes around, which means that the touch-up has been done. So I think it's something that is effective. You can try. Okay, last but not least, I feel that to find a good carpenter, example, to find a good carpenter or to find a good painter or to find a good someone good at vinyl, I think it's not an easy task. Because like the carpenter, they have their own carpentry company. The vinyl is their own vinyl company. It's not easy to find everyone all good one. So I actually have this thought. Is it more important to have a good and responsible contractor, or is it more important to have a good worker? Means like the carpenter, the people that make vinyl. Okay, then I realized one thing is that maybe I prefer a good and responsible contractor, which is the coordinator for everything. Why? Because I realized that every time there's something that is not done correctly, right, I will tell him. And then he's responsible enough and responsive enough to get back to me, explain to me, and rectify it. So I think this is a good thing. And also he will not try to avoid problems, and some things that maybe cannot be done or too much problem, he will explain to me first, then help me manage my expectation first. I think this is part and parcel and is important, and something that I think me and my wife were quite happy about. At least he is responsible enough to take the initiative to solve some of the problem, and he won't like every time when there's a problem we tell him, he will slowly explain to us. He won't feel that it's irritating, or he won't give us like a bad tone or ignore us. He won't. So I think this is the good thing about a contractor. And also I spoken to him like, hey, why you're this carpenter or this electrician, why like that? So he also tell me that it's not possible to get everybody good. But the main thing is, as long as he can get someone to solve my problem, that is his most important part. So after speaking to him, I also kind of agree lah. And I also understand the difficulty in their industry, because they cannot manage everybody and make sure that everybody is up to standard, which I also agree. So I think these are small tips that I have experienced in my whole reno journey. And the good thing is I feel that I have enough time to come and check. Maybe 2-3 days I check one time, 2-3 days I check one time. And I asked him, is it very irritating that I keep checking and keep getting back to you? The surprising answer is he say it's not. Because if I check, right, means that it's lesser delay. Because the earlier I tell him there's a problem, he'll get someone to rectify. The earlier I tell him there's a problem, he'll get someone to rectify. So it's faster and there's no delay. He say if I don't get back to him fast enough, if I don't check every day or every 2-3 days, I slowly 1 week one time, then for him to get the person back to touch up maybe take a little bit longer time. So somehow I thought that I was irritating him, but according to him I was not, so that was good. So he also feel that it's good that I check and disturb him. So this part I think that is a good thing. So I think all these things are things that you all have to take note. And also like for carpentry or maybe other renovations, I think it's very hard to get 100% perfect, because all are handcraft. People use hand to make, it's not like machine make. So give and take a little bit. Most importantly, the exterior. Okay, so for cabinets, they told me that exterior, they try to make it as perfect as possible, but interior sometimes a little bit here and there, small hairline scratches, really got the give and take, because it seems like they cannot check every single thing like that. And I do agree lah, because it doesn't affect me so much. So as long as I put my things inside the cabinet, I don't really see that scratches anymore. So that's it. That's what I learned in my whole reno journey with my contractors. And I'm happy that I didn't have to go through too much major problems, and my renovation was extended only about a week. So instead of 1 month, I took 1 month, 1 week. So it's quite acceptable. I'm happy with it. So thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Leave your question below. If you are interested to engage my contractor, just WhatsApp me. I will give you his contact. But good or no good, you also got to go and scrutinize and see whether is it suitable for you or not lah. Because again, like I told you, right, it's your expectation and his expectation, whether you all align each other or not. So that's it. Hit the like button, subscribe button. I see you in the next episode, and bye bye.